I just want to say that Brandon and I did not know that we were doing this together. We found out when we went to the first round of auditions, and I was delighted. And Brandon is so amazing and is such an incredible classmate and colleague and friend that we then sat through the 2 rounds of auditions basically arm in arm. And we would email and text each other and being like, no, yours was great, no, yours was great. No, I think you should get it, no, I think you should. So neither of us did. It was an act of altruism, you know. And I also want to say that someone in the cohort, when they heard that I was doing this, said, you just wanted an opportunity to be as close to Drew Goetz as possible. And that person was right. So, Brandon, thank you. Judy, Rebecca, and all, thanks for letting us do this, because it's really an honor. And it was an honor to audition. And just a reminder about setting the stage. I agree with everything that Brandon said. And just remember how wonderful it's going to be and how grand it's going to look, and that we'll all be in these. And there'll be even fancier, more colorful ones. And all of that is key. You have to use your imagination a bit as we go through this one. So that's what I'm trying to help you out. I wear this around after Thursday. Yeah, 2 weeks, right? So I mean, classmates, at this incredible moment, I have a question for you. Can you even believe what we're all wearing right now? I mean, look at these get-ups. There are even some faculty members here wearing robes that have feathers on them. Now, take it from this queer eye for the Harvard guy. And this look, it really suits you. In fact, you look fabulous. That was the line I really wanted to deliver. Well, these robes are sartorially anachronistic for our age of skinny jeans and ironic t-shirts. They enable us to travel back in time for a moment, to the earliest halls of formalized higher learning, to Paris and Bologna and Oxford and that other Cambridge. Students and scholars and clergy at those ancient universities kept warm in drafty halls while probing the world's mysteries. By wearing garments like these, we won't have any trouble staying warm on Thursday, I don't think. This was eons ago and worlds away, and yet here we are, wearing the garb that ties us to these academic forerunners. Classmates, the second question for you. Can you believe where we are sitting? You really need your imagination for this. Harvard Yard. This was once an unassuming cow pasture, one that never imagined its destiny, that a college of all things would be planted here, and from that college, a grand and global university would spring forth. Where's Julie? One of Julie, where's this quote from? One of the next things we longed for and looked after was to advance learning and perpetuate it in posterity. Columnists wrote these words to English benefactors in a 1642 pamphlet titled... This pamphlet describes a hopeful beginning of a fledgling school that would incubate a learned citizenry in this very place. This was where I was going to insert a gratuitous and unauthorized shout-out to Higher Ed 15, so pretend I just did. Now, as we all know, that colonial startup really took off. And here we sit in that simple yard that now gives rise to complex, transformative ideas. The pasture of yore, having become the vigorously beating heart of Harvard and of higher learning today. Classmates, one more question. Can you believe what we are doing? Graduating. We've assembled this morning mere steps away from where 9 graduates, 9 of them, met in 1642 for the very first of these exercises. So obviously they didn't have to worry about the 2 tickets per student rule. Now again, I quote New England's First Fruits, which described that commencement thusly. The students of the first class have therefore been trained up in university learning, when the governor, the magistrates, and the ministers from all parts, with all forms of scholars, and others in great numbers present, did hear their exercises. And here we are, in quite similar fashion, almost 400 years later, the 4th class of 15 to graduate from Harvard. We necessarily channel history today, even as we look expectantly forward, in order to recall that the improvement of the human condition has always been the higher purpose of higher learning. Palpable in the words of New England's First Fruits, at least in my reading of it here, and we have an expert here, so this could be wrong. Right, that transcript's set, right? Is a wise trust in the character of university learning that bolsters both students and society, that allows students to be trained up, to live thoughtfully and with passion, and most of all, in service to other people. And so we gather for this grand ritual, in order that the scholars and the leaders of our university may commission us to take our place in that lineage, to go forth and to be bold in applying what we have learned here, while also being humble leaders of our disciplines and our professions and our communities. To solve problems through critical inquiry, to partner with and empower others through open dialogue. This is our learned heritage. Now, as this is a Harvard commencement, there is no shortage of exceptional talent gathered here today. We are quite possibly graduating with a future president. I'm not clairvoyant enough to know who she is, but I suspect that she is here. Give a nod to President Faust. Just saying we don't know the next step. But it's probably one of our classmates. But this moment commands us to think beyond the self-congratulatory, beyond what individuals can accomplish for themselves via a particular credential. Rather, it calls us to consider what we as Harvard men and women can accomplish with and for others, and for those who will come in our stead, because of what we've learned here. This is a wonderfully audacious institution that has demanded the rigorous application of our hearts and hands and minds as students, and that now asks us to be just as rigorous in our service to society as alumni. And to begin post-haste, to commence, having been commissioned here, for the challenges are steep, and our lives in the end are very brief. By the time the 5th class of 15 gathers for Harvard commencement, we won't be here. Unless someone at the medical school or the divinity school comes up with something. Fingers crossed. But if not, then this is the moment for us to gratefully accept this heritage and this commission, and to step into our lives as Harvard men and women who will live thoughtfully and with passion and in service to others, trained up in university learning indeed. So classmates, believe what we are doing. Plant your feet where we are sitting and own what you are wearing. Because my fellow Harvard graduates, take it from me, you look fabulous.
This is why it is such a joy to teach here. You get to work with people like this and like this in the room. What an extraordinary pleasure